Welcome to this introductory guide on GraphQL with Node.js. In this video, you will learn how to get started with Modern Application Programming Interface, or API development using GraphQL and Node.js. GraphQL is a query language for APIs and a runtime for executing those queries with your existing data. So, what exactly is GraphQL? GraphQL is a query language designed specifically for APIs. It empowers clients such as web or mobile applications to request precisely the data they need and nothing more. This eliminates issues like overfetching or underfetching of data. Let's explore some key features. First, precise data fetching. Clients can request exactly the data they require, optimizing data transfer and improving performance. Second, single endpoint. GraphQL uses a single uniform resource locator, or URL, for all your data needs, simplifying the API structure compared to traditional representational state transfer, or REST, architectures that often involve multiple endpoints. Now let's compare GraphQL with REST APIs. In REST, there are multiple endpoints for different resources. The data structure is fixed per endpoint, which may lead to overfetching or underfetching. Also, multiple round trips may be needed to get related data. GraphQL uses a single endpoint for all operations. It allows flexible query structures, enabling you to fetch exactly what you need in a single request, even for complex data requirements. Let's explore the core concepts of GraphQL. First, schema. The schema defines the structure of your API, specifying the types of data available and the operations that can be performed. Second, query. Queries are read operations used to fetch data from your API. Clients use queries to ask for specific information. Third, mutation. Mutations are write operations that allow you to modify data in your API, such as creating, updating, or deleting records. Fourth, resolver. Resolvers are functions that fetch the actual data for each field defined in your schema. They act as the bridge between your GraphQL API and your data sources. Let's set up GraphQL with Node.js. First, we need to install required packages. We need to install GraphQL, which is the core GraphQL implementation. Also, we need to install Apollo Server Express, which is a GraphQL server that integrates with Express. To install these packages, first initialize your project using the command npm init-y. Then, install the dependencies using the command npm install GraphQL Apollo Server Express. Also install nodemon as a dev dependency using the command npm install-d nodemon. Nodemon automatically restarts the Node application when file changes in the directory are detected. Here's how to define a basic GraphQL schema. First, define a user type, specifying the fields for a user object such as ID, name, and email, along with their respective data types. The exclamation point indicates that a field is non-nullable. Next, define the query operations. Define the query type to specify the available queries, such as fetching all users or fetching a single user by ID. Let's create resolvers. First, let's create sample data with an array of users with some user objects in it. Next, create resolvers object, which is the resolver functions. Here, the query resolver is defined. The user's query returns the entire array of users. The user query takes the parent and arguments, finds the user whose ID matches the ID passed in arguments, and returns it. Now let's set up the Apollo server. First, import the Apollo server in Express. Then, create a new Apollo server instance, passing in the type definitions and resolvers. Next, create an Express application and apply the Apollo server middleware to it. Finally, start the server and listen on port 4000. Let's see some examples of GraphQL queries. To get all users, use the query keyword, then specify the user's query and the fields you want to retrieve for each user, such as ID, name, and email. To get a single user, use the query keyword, Then specify the user query with the desired user ID as an argument. Also, specify the fields you want to retrieve for the user, such as name and email. Let's look at some of the key benefits of GraphQL. GraphQL enables efficient data fetching, allowing clients to request only the data they need. It has a strong type system, ensuring data consistency and providing clear API contracts. It uses a single endpoint, simplifying API management. Also, it provides a self-documenting API, making it easier for developers to explore and use. Here are the next steps to take. First, add mutations for data modification. Second, implement database integration. Third, add authentication and authorization. Fourth, explore subscriptions for real-time functionality. Start building modern, efficient APIs with GraphQL today. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.